that there's something deeper to serving rather than self-serving. There's something deeper to serving than just kind of making ourselves feel better. I think there's actually serving like Jesus that's gonna mess us up and take us to a place of, well, a shift in our mindset. And that's what I wanna teach you today. In fact, the truth is this: you and I, especially as Christians, we're called to serve like Jesus. However, serving like Jesus will take a big shift in our attitudes, our mindsets, our hearts, our time, our priorities, what we do, where we go. With God's help, though, we can serve in a way that changes others, changes ourselves, and makes an eternal difference. Do you think that you are easy to serve? Do you think that you're easy for God to bless and to work with? I've got to ask myself that question. I got to ask you that question today because the truth is probably more often than not, I'm not as easy to love and to serve. More often than not, I'm not moldable and pliable like God desires for me to be, which makes God's job harder. Good news is that even while we're doing this right now, God is working. You know, even while you're sitting in seats or watching the service, God's serving you and working on your behalf. Even if you're in a pile of sin or you were last night, God's serving you. Why? Because he loves you. And you cannot separate serving and love. No matter how awful we are, God's love is greater. Jesus served them while they were enemies. In other words, loving God compels us to serve people even who are our enemies. Loving God compels us to serve people that we don't like, that have hurt us and have failed us, to pray for these people. Loving God compels us to serve people that we don't even know we're serving. Loving God compels us to serve. If we love God, then we will serve. If we say we love God, but there's no service evident in our life, then there is a fractured element of our journey with God that needs to be mended. No doubt. You might be coming from a season of hurt and pain, burnout, wear out, all of those things. And there are seasons where God just has to pour into you and people have to pour into you and you got to sit back and receive and be healed and all that stuff. But at some point, you got to get off your butt, get on your feet and do what God's commanded, mandated, and modeled for you to do, and that's serve. Because if you love God, you will serve. You cannot separate serving and loving. The kingdom of God and the kingdom of heaven is opposite. It's upside down. It's the antithesis of our natural inclination to hide, to fly, to run, to take care of me. It's to surrender and throw yourself into serving and caring for others. So what Jesus was modeling here is while he's about to die and he's got a whole bunch of other stuff going on, what he's showing us is that serving isn't predicated on circumstance. That's what he's showing us. I'm about to die. You people are crazy, but I'm gonna wash your feet anyway because I love you, and you can't separate love and you can't separate service. And what you need to know is that in life you're gonna have trouble, but I'll be with you. What you need to know is you're probably not gonna feel like serving or loving or giving or caring at times. And what I'm trying to show you is that it can't be predicated on circumstance, or it's not serving like me. You can't serve based on circumstances or how you feel today or what's going on today, because then you're not serving like me. What Jesus was saying to Peter, we aren't leaders who serve, but we are servants who lead. Our identity is in serving. We don't just pick up trash because we're leaders and because it looks good. We pick up trash, we serve our neighborhoods, we're in our communities, we feed the hungry and we clothe the naked and we give everything away because it's who we are. It's a cultural cleanse, it's an immersion. I gotta wash your feet because you need to carry the culture that this is who we are. And when you're leading thousands of people, you're still serving because I showed you how to wash feet. And after the resurrection, Jesus asked Peter this question in John 21. A third time, he asked, Simon, son of John, do you love me? And Peter was offended. He was hurt by this. And he said, Lord, you know everything. You know I love you. And then Jesus responds, then feed my sheep. Serve them.